Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at MyOpenMath with more details. So it's in your Start Here module. Hopefully you've gone through this and you would come to the intro lesson or any of the lessons for MyOpenMath. And you should have a screen that pops up looking like this. It comes from an external tool. All that means is it's a kind of third-party thing that's integrated into Canvas for you. This is from Math 141, so you'll see different rules and more problems than you might for the 107 course, but just so you know, if you had already started it, you can resume. We're still within the due date, so don't try to redeem a pass. You shouldn't even be able to do that until after the due date. But I can go in here and resume. And again, it says the due date here, 11:59 p.m. If it's a timed quiz or test, make sure you allow enough time before 11:59 p.m. even if it's before the due date, because it will time you, it'll change the whole timing system after 11:59 p.m. So here's your instructions. You can arrow over to get to each problem, or you can use this drop down menu if you had missed some and you want to just go back to certain ones without kind of scrolling through. So here we're going to just put in the number exactly, so you know just how to type things in is what this is about. Okay, and any of these things you might need to use are available to you. When you want to get rid of that box, just click off to the side. Okay, so that one was exactly no rounding. This one is, you're going to round to the nearest hundredth. So 63.8967. So we would round to 90 there, and then anything divided by 0 we would have to do undefined, so that is on your palette here. DNE does not exist, and then you're going to submit, and I got them all correct. And if you got them incorrect, you can check what the real answer was supposed to be. And you can actually message me and say, oh, I didn't put in the decimal here. I put a comma by mistake. And say it was a lengthy problem that you actually had to do. You don't have to redo the entire thing to try to get a new problem. You can just message me and I can override that, especially for quizzes and tests where you don't get as many. Quizzes you usually get 2 tries, and tests just 1. Then we don't want to go down here to move on. Again, we want to go back up here. And now this one I had already done. This one here, I'm going to skip that one now. So entering fractions, I'm going to put in just the wrong thing. I'm going to put in like just 1/2, and it shows me a red box with an X. So that's not correct. Say, I'm like, I don't know what they mean for this problem. Like, I'm getting all these wrong and I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. Like, what answer format do they want? You can actually go right here to jump to answer, but know that once you do that, you're going to get a different problem. It'll have different numbers, so don't try to keep putting stuff in. So you can't, you know, if you change it, it's like when you hit enter, nothing happens because you already used that problem up. So then you're going to go get a similar problem, and now it should work for you. Okay, and you can enter all those in. And one thing too, if you say you went to do this, I'm not even using this palette here right now. I'm just using my keyboard and hitting the slash button, and that will work too. But say for example, instead of the 8, I accidentally hit the 9, and it tells me I'm wrong. I can go back and fix that one thing. Okay, so I get a couple of tries to do that, and then you can just move on to the next. Again, if there's something, an issue for you, message me, but do give me a question with it. Let's look up that. So you would, don't just send me a problem. I don't understand what your needs are when I just see the problem. I just like, okay, that's the problem they're working on. So what you would say is, I am not getting the correct answer, and am not sure why. Maybe you would say something, can you look at my work, please, and give feedback. And then what you would do is attach your work. You can attach a file in there. Okay, you can just upload from your computer files right there. You can even do a picture right in there, and then I can see and I can match up. Sometimes people just have a more specific thing. Oh, was I supposed to use a you know, bracket or something like that, or this graph, the dots aren't coming out right, or whatnot. So now I'm going to go back to resume. Okay, and I can go back in, like if I want to skip around. Okay, I want to go to question 12 now, say for instance, and finish that one up. So this is all about, you know, functions and notation. I mean, there's different kinds of things for different classes, so just keep that in mind. So I hope that helps. You can click done and it'll tell you what your score is here. Keep in mind for homework, it's going to mark you a low score until you finish them all, because it's instant grading there. So it's not a true score until you figure it out. And then if you want to go back and look, you can do that. But if you want to resume, go ahead and do that. You can go back and look at your work anytime after the due date without using a late pass. The late pass is intended for you to get an increase in your score, and you don't get the deduction on everything that was, it's just what was completed after the due date. So say you just have one problem left, go ahead and do that. It's not going to mark your whole thing down, just that one problem, which would be really minimal. But again, I mean, if you miss a couple here and there, they're pretty low percentage for each one. Okay, so now say you're all done with this. We're going to go back out of that, and we want to get back to your next assignment for Canvas. And what happened here is I got a separate MyOpenMath pop-up window. It opened this score sheet in a new window, new tab. So I just go over here and get back on track with where my Canvas is. Okay. So you can scroll down and go to the next thing. Now for the first one, let's just go back there. Just keep in mind that for the first thing, you had to click done, mark as done. For homework, I'm having you do that so it tracks correctly, because you don't want to click that done until you're actually all done with it, because then you won't know. You'll just think it's completed. When you look at your modules page, let's go to modules, and you get these check marks. Okay, I did mark it as done so I could get through, but like down here, when you're working and you have your homeworks, electronic homework is usually e-homework, paper homework's p-homework, so you know the difference there. When I open that one up, and once you open it, it'll mark everything wrong until you actually do them. So you see a low, it'll be falsely low homework score, so just know that. So you could be working in this, but you're not quite done, so don't mark it as done. But you might want to move on to the next thing. Okay, I'm going to do a few of these. I'm going to go to my paper. I haven't made it one thing contingent upon another so that you can actually skip around a little bit within the module. Sometimes you might have a time where you have to work in sequence, or like say the solution, some things might be locked until after they're due, but you should be able to skip around a little bit within a module and get to all your things you want to work on. Like say you want to just do some more of this practice in between things, you can do that. Just don't forget to go back and check. Okay, and that's the end of that module, and always go back and check. Now quizzes and tests are a little different, and you don't have a quiz or a test posted yet for this course. That'll be up there soon. But the quizzes, you have to just submit to get your check mark, and the tests you have to submit to get your check mark, because they do need to be done in one sitting. Okay, so I hope that is helpful for you to see how the MyOpenMath works in a little more detail, and some tips for that. Have a great day.